Welcome back. Well, round 18 over the years has spawned some amazing moments, great marks, great milestones, great finishes, and a couple of moments straight out of Ripley's, believe it or not. Let's have a look at them all now, because like Bob Skilton's name actually changing by deed poll to triple Brownlow medalist Bob Skilton once he became a Channel 7 commentator, so are the rounds of our lives. Okay, Finey, got some rippers today. Let's get into it. Number 5 on our list, we're going not all the way back, but back to 2009. Richmond, Melbourne, both of them struggling. The Demons, do they want a priority pick? Well, people were speculating about whether they actually wanted to win this game. Melbourne hit the front, look like they're going all right. It's the last few seconds of a desperate game. Let's pick up the action.
Good tackle. Seconds continue to roll. We're down to 4. White hands it up. Tamlin. They need a mark. Oh, the siren. Has he paid it?
Oh, no,
He has paid the mark.
Paid the mark. Oh, gee, I'd like to hear that again, Dwayne.
Jordan McMahon with the game in his hand.
Gee, what a kick this is.
Game 144 for Jordan McMahon. This is the biggest kick he's ever had, let alone the biggest kick ever for the Tigers. It's long. It's long! Oh. The Tigers in a thriller on the siren. And they come from everywhere. They might be 12th on the ladder. But pride in the jumper means more than the 4 points.
Great finish. The questions linger about just how sort of much either side wanted to win. And this is completely irrelevant, Finey, but didn't Jordan McMahon do a great porno moustache?
The dirty Sanchez has never, ever been more prominently displayed on a footballer's upper lip.
Now, I would have loved to have been the outer that day just to see the reaction of the Melbourne supporters. Were they actually upset that they lost the game?
Probably not. I mean, but what were they thinking? We're going to ruin the career of the number 1 draft pick?
Yes. Yeah.
Who can we ground into the dirt this time?
Even they weren't that cynical. All right, let's go to number 4 on the list. Now, we've seen a lot of Ablett in this segment, but you're going to see some more, I'm afraid. Well, not afraid. It's great to watch. Gary Ablett Sr., the year is 1993. Now, this was a year of his transformation, I suppose, to a bona fide specialist full forward. Missed a few games, but boy did he make up for lost time. This is, of course, the same season he kicked the 14 in a losing side against Essendon. This is his 14th game of the season, and believe it or not, he's gone into this game needing just 1 for 100 goals, the quickest 100 goals in football history. Let's see how it unfolded.
Hughes to centre half forward. Stoneham a focal point still, and Stoneham takes the mark. I think he's too far out to score. Ablett's on the edge of the goal square. He needs 1 more for the century. Stoneham honours the lead to the pocket.
Oh,
Ablett at the back.
Ablett.
He's got it.
No.
It's a mark.
From where I was sitting, Ablett had hold of Martin.
It'd be a game umpire to free kick him, because everybody is focused on Gary Ablett trying to kick 100 for the first time in his career. His previous best was 87 goals in a season in his stellar year, 1989. This for the second fastest century in VFL AFL history. And there it is. Only Bob Pratt got there quicker.
On the sharpest of angles. Can open it up. Elects not to. A study and concentration. Well, explain that.
This for number 8. Oh, no. Oh, just got in.
Well, he didn't just want to limp over the 100 line, Finey. He just went out and kicked a lazy 10, as he did.
Where do you have him in your greatest ever players?
He's the greatest player I've ever seen. Now, Carey close, and you could argue Carey had it over him for consistency, but if your criteria is players who did things that other guys just couldn't do, he's a clear number 1 for me.
Yeah, it's funny, I don't have him in my top 5.
Really?
Because he wasn't a team player. Football's about being part of the team, but in terms of the most gifted player and capability of the most watchable player, if you're there to watch a single player, number one.
Yeah, and longer time goes on, and I guess the fewer goals we see and high marks and whatever, you realise how lucky you were to have witnessed his career. Just an absolute freak of nature. What a champion. Okay, let's go to number 3 on the list, and the year is 1998. The venue is Manuka Oval in Canberra. The time, Finey, as we've already discussed, is AM, believe it or not, like a game of under 12s. Don't ask me why, something about scheduling. It's North Melbourne playing Port Adelaide, and a little North Melbourne forward is about to leave a very big impression.
Decides to give it to somebody who can kick long, Wayne Carey. He puts...
It's an Abraham special, the big run, a big launch and a big grab.
Have a look at this.
You know, my first instinct was he's going to give away the free kick because he went so early.
Went too early.
But he just hung up there. He stayed up there till the ball came.
That is Australian rule.
Well, that's about his 6 nominations for the Captain's Mark of the Year, I reckon. He won it on weighted numbers.
Deserves a goal, and he's got it.
The kick from Carey wasn't good. He goes early, he stays there.
Came in from the side.
He goes again. He stayed there and went again.
Held his body up.
Great grab, clearly Mark of the Year, Finey. And I don't know if you remember, but earlier this year, same place, same ground, Will Hoskin-Elliott of the Giants took a similar sort of mark.
Spot on. Now, to be fair, I've often spoken about this AM game, but the mark was not in the AM. The game started at 11:40, and given that the score was 81-61, unless that was a great first 15 minutes of football, it happened in the afternoon.
Why did they do that? Do you remember why?
It was scheduling. They wanted to have a big day of football and tried out a game before the 2 o'clock game.
Yeah.
Obviously didn't work because we don't have it anymore.
No, well, they've done some weird things with scheduling. That was probably one of the weirder ones. Okay.
Not the only AM football that's ever been played, though.
What was the other one?
When the then travelling, I think, either King of England came, George the whoever it is, came to Australia. His schedule in Melbourne allowed him only to watch football in the morning, and they had 2 or 3 games start in the morning, including a Punk Road game where Richmond hosted, I think, St Kilda, and he was in attendance.
And
something at 10:30 a.m.
And that, Finey, is why I'm a Republican. Let's go to number 2 on the list. Now, I mentioned Ripley's, believe it or not. The year is 1993. The venue is the SCG. The teams are Sydney and St Kilda. 18 players from either side out on the ground, and, of course, a pitch.
Well, I'll talk you through this one because I had pre-knowledge of this, Rowan. These were my mates, Bomber and Boffer. They will not allow their real names to be used. Decided it would be funny to put an animal on the SCG. It actually started at my 21st when they put a white mouse on the roulette wheel at Adelaide Casino. That worked so well that they graduated to this. They got help from a Sydney player who wasn't playing to get into the ground.
Oh, did they?
They walked in with the players. Pig in bag. It had been made docile after being purchased in Blacktown by some smoke from a dodgy cigarette blown into the bag.
Sounds like your mates.
Yeah, they are. They put the pig. This is all politically incorrect now. I'm sure that somebody will want my hide for this, but the thing was destined for bacon, so it wasn't the worst thing that could have happened to it. They put it on the ground and it didn't move for about 15 minutes. Then all of a sudden it woke up and, like inspired by some pig god,
got the munchies.
It ran straight to where the ball was, a ball up at full forward. It was just a miracle. Darren Holmes, of course, was pressed into action. The country boy, everybody tried to catch it. He'd obviously done a bit of pig catching back in the day, caught it. The fate of the pig, it ended up as bacon.
Well, the postscript too. Plugger was so annoyed at that the following year in the same game, he went absolutely crazy ape bonkers, won the Saints the game in that great comeback and
tried
almost
to
decapitated Kenny Williams behind the goals.
Who he would later be sickeningly arm in arm with when he joined Sydney singing club songs. The whole thing had a terrible postscript.
All right, let's go to number 1. And speaking of unusual moments, they don't come a lot more unusual than this. Yes, Finey, I was there. It was 1982. The venue was Windy Hill. The teams are Essendon and Hawthorn. important game. Double chance on the line here for either side should they get up. Essendon leading most of the day. A bloke called Lee Matthews steps into the fray and proceeds to win the game and make a sizable point, literally. Let's have a look.
Worried about things, but here comes Lee.
Matthews traps a beautiful ball. Steady, shoots, goal. 2 goals to Hawthorn. And DP Domenico. Matthews.
And he continues on with it.
Shrugs the tackle. A shot at goal.
Great football from Lee Matthews.
Look at Jeans going.
Jeans is pretty happy about it now. Go.
With merit.
And he does.
Oh, the post is broken. Matthews hit it.
Tears the place apart.
Oh, talk about a he-man.
The boundary umpire's not too pleased about it. They stood on his foot. Oh, things that can happen.
Fantastic effort by Lee Matthews.
That's one of the lines of 6 in your head. Is that, talk about a he-man.
I love Louis Richards.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like it in my life. Oh, he's a ripper.
He was great, Lou. No, it was the great last quarter of Matthews is often overlooked in the point post incident, but
apparently there was an integrity issue with the post. It was due to there was something wrong with it.
Yeah, I think
termites.
Yeah, well, quite possibly. I don't think they put a lot into post upkeep back in those days. But of course, a bit of memorabilia subsequently bought by Ron Barassi and displayed in his Mountain View Hotel in Richmond.
The broken post.
Yeah.
Yeah, good piece of memorabilia.
Actually, I've got a feeling, I could be wrong, but I've got a feeling it might be up for auction again on eBay. So there you go, Lethal. I know you've got a lazy couple of million lying around. I'd put in for the broken point post.
Just on posts, do you know that prior to the start of the VFL in 1897, all posts in the then VFA had club flags atop each post to help indicate which direction the wind was going?
I've seen photos of them.
Small flags.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. It'd be great at Etihad, under the roof.
Well, it wouldn't have been great at Windy Hill because Sheeds would have tied them down as well as the Windside.
Disgraceful behaviour. West Coast still very... Was that the day they kicked a goal?
No, it was the day they beat Essendon, and Essendon had about 13 injuries. It was actually a very memorable game.
Wasn't there a day they
yeah, that was the 2 years before 1989. Yeah, a lot of teams came to grief at Windy Hill. A lot of supporters too.
Look, the move was a big move, and in the end, it was great to live up there for 8 or 9 years, whatever it was. A different life in those days in Sydney in that, well, not that it's that much different.